All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rejects Brunch Show. I am here with Cody. Cody, how are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well. I am jacked up on my, well, not aqua cola because it's coffee, but the black liquid, as they call it.
Yeah, I've got my peach mango bang here.
Well, I
Uh,
guess we're drinking the appropriate caffeinated beverages to be talking about the movie we're talking about today.
yeah,
Some
yes.
high octane caffeine.
I am
Get through
also
it.
here with my beautiful and lovely wife,
The
Lindsay,
spirit that possesses your
the
home.
the floating voice that you hear off screen. One day we will fix that when we get a proper setup. I
Or we
promise
won't, and you guys will all
you.
survive.
No, you need to be on screen
Why?
because
It's going to be me
It'll be
looking at my phone, looking at notes.
it'll be fun. Anyway, we are here and we are talking Road Warrior as part of our summer of 1982.
Yeah, and if somebody comments later or tells us, it actually came out in 1981, uh, apparently it didn't get a US release till 1982 because I've seen conflicting release dates, but I've seen it listed on a list of like the best films that came out in 82 or the best movies of summer of 82. So I was like, it's a cultural important film, so let's include it on the list of films we're talking about for a couple
Right.
of reasons.
Well, we're going to
Uh,
take it as 82 because
That's when the U.S. got it.
That's-
and that's where we are.
yeah, that's where we're at. That's when we got it. So,
That's a very
Take that,
America
Aussies.
point
That's
of view
just-
to be like, well, that's when we saw it.
that's just like when you're disappointed when you see a movie adaptation from a book you read, and someone's like, well, that's what you get for reading. Should have waited till the movie came out.
Look at you trying to be all learned. Reading. Ugh. That's
on
kindling.
airs.
That's kindling right there.
That reminds me of the movie Friday Night Lights when they lose the game and they have, those radio shows about local sports. The one guy talks, and I'll tell you what the problem is. They're learning too much in that school.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's why they're bad at football, because they're reading too much. But
Yeah. They're learning them books. Mm.
This movie is
Anyway.
important for a couple of reasons. So let's go ahead and get the racist elephant out of the room. This movie made Mel Gibson a movie star.
Yeah. Yeah. Back when he was still an Aussie. You could hear the accent. This is pre-Lethal Weapon, pre-United States days. So,
well, this is an Australian film.
Mhm.
This is technically a sequel, and I believe the reason why it's called The Road Warrior in the U.S. is because Mad Max was like a cult thing, and I don't even know if it really had a lot of popularity in the U.S. till after this movie came out, because everywhere else it's called Mad Max 2, which on my Blu-ray, which I didn't watch my Blu-ray this time, I did. It says Mad Max 2. It doesn't say The Road Warrior.
Right. Yeah, I always took it as I always saw it as Road Warrior in the video store.
Well, yeah,
And then, yeah, it was. I mean, that's the way it was. But I would see Mad Max, but I would see Road Warrior, and I'm like, wait a minute, or what's the relation between these two? And it wasn't until I finally watched Mad Max, because I watched Road Warrior first.
I think that was common for a lot of people, especially in that time frame.
And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's a connection. Okay, then I have to watch Mad Max now. So, but yeah, this movie is heavy metal. Like, this movie,
Yeah.
we started with Conan last week, and after watching this, those two movies, like I said earlier, are just like long hair metal videos. They're just
Well, I mean, This movie's literally leather, chains, high
Rob Halford was.
octane gasoline
This is probably Rob
explosions.
Halford's favorite movie.
Is this where Judas Priest predates this movie, right? So I'm like,
they predate it by a few years.
so he was wearing that outfit like before this movie came out. Okay, because there's
yes.
well, and there's a lot of punk hairstyles in this, right? There's mohawks and
right. And then you had the good guys who were wearing scrunchies and had their hair up.
Well, it's the 80s.
They were like, "Oh, we got to go find an abandoned mall somewhere."
There's a lot of shoulder pads in this movie.
Yeah, shoulder pad armor. I like how the shoulder pads became so huge. They just adapted into armor. They were just like
immediately protected.
Yeah, I got to protect my shoulders, but I have to look good too.
I could be wrong here. There were probably post-apocalypse films before this, but this, I have to say, probably made it popular to where we got other type of movies that were similar to this, to the point that anytime someone does a post-apocalypse movie, they're like, oh, it's kind of like Mad Max.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like...
It set a standard for apocalyptic movies.
Let's call Waterworld for what it is. It's Mad Max on water. He was like, Kevin Costner was like, I want to make my own Mad Max.
He said, Mad Max makes me too thirsty when I watch it. I gotta make a better movie.
Hey, I'm one of those that really enjoy Waterworld. And matter of fact, we're watching the Ulysses cut now.
Why is it called that?
Because
it's so much longer.
This guy. No, really, this guy took
epic length.
What he did is he took the original cut, the TV cut, and there was another cut that he took. And it may have been like an extended cut, but they didn't add the TV stuff. So he took and edited in where all of this is supposed to go. And it fleshes the movie out and gives it more backstory. You learn a lot more about the atolls and the people and some of the characters, and like the scientist and the girl and I don't know. To me, it's really long, but it fleshes it out more. And I always enjoyed Waterworld because, again, it's Mad Max on water, and I always thought it was cool to take that concept, but yeah, you're in water, but you can't really drink it, so you could still die of thirst. And
what you do, Chris, is you pee, and then you filter your pee, and it becomes drinking water.
Right.
Oh my gosh, right. The cut that we're watching right now, the colors are so bizarre and bright that I've never seen them like that before. Did you know that pee is like fluorescent green?
They cleaned it, they really cleaned it up, and it's worth the watch at least once, in my opinion, if you enjoyed Waterworld. But anyway, I got off topic.
Mad
Max, but Waterworld, you were talking about other apocalyptic movies, and that always comes to mind is Waterworld, because it is. They have the smokers are, the bad guys, like the what do they call them in Mad Max? The
what are they called? I just remember the main guy's name is Lord Humongous, right?
Yes.
The guy with the of rock and roller. I love that. That's gonna be I want to adapt that to me. Every time I go in the grocery store, have an announcer.
Your wrestler opener.
But anyway, let's.
That is a little World Wrestling Federation energy with the villains in this franchise.
Yeah, it was yeah. That's. Did I miss it?
Did you miss what? They're called the Marauders, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Which
that what we
makes
were all sitting there trying to remember?
Yeah.
which makes sense because isn't that like a pirate term? Because they're
Yeah.
basically land pirates. Like they're
Mhm.
coming and taking what they want and reaping and pillaging.
Nomadic bad guys.
Right.
And the notice, I think what's interesting in this movie is the original film is very much a character. It's a movie about Max, right? It's about like kind of what happens to him. And in the sequels, in this movie and the subsequent two films that follow, he's really the audience surrogate. Like he just gets thrown into these situations and then decides to help out. He's really, it's not about him. He's
Right.
playing a archetype. He's basically the Mandalorian, right?
Right. And they play that on through with up into the newest one or the latest one is it's about Furiosa. It's not about Mad Max. So he's just there, like you said. He's
a hunky cardboard cutout. He just got to be there.
He's there for the audience, an eye candy, I guess.
I mean, yeah, and he's the archetypical lone hero or lone gunman samurai, comes into town.
Yeah.
Doesn't really want to do anything, but then he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll help you guys out because you guys can't take these people on."
Yeah, it's just.
And he even has the little kid sidekick.
The little feral kid
that Kevin Costner steals for
Emil.
You trying to remember an actor's name or the character's
Minty?
name?
Isn't that where Minty got his name from?
For real?
Emil. Can't remember the kid's name.
I'm gonna double check for you. Hold on.
A classic film they parallel the Road Warrior with is Shane, in which there's very much that kid relationship with the title character Shane, who comes into town and the family helps him, and then he decides to help the family against these gunfighters.
Right.
And and the character, the feral kid, he's pretty good with that boomerang.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. I always thought that was funny where he dodges it and it goes into his lover's forehead.
Oh. Yeah, he didn't get over that either.
No.
You were right. It was Emil Minty.
Emil Minty,
yes.
Yeah. That's weird that I remember that kid's name, but anyway.
Well, connection to that guy, actor Vernon Wells is his name, with the movie we talked about last week. He's the bad guy in Commando. He's the guy Arnold throws the pipe into.
Yeah, the one wearing that weird chainmail wife beater.
Yep. 80s fashion. I don't know what was going on. That or he was just like, I really liked my outfit in the Road Warrior. I'm just going to wear something similar to what I wore in the Road Warrior.
Yeah. And he had like a dad gut. He had a dad bod, but he was wearing like this chainmail muscle shirt. And it was hilarious, man. I love that movie. We should do a review on that movie. I got so much to talk about with Commando. But anyway, let's see. There was something I was going to bring up.
That's why you got to put your notes on paper, because otherwise they just run around loose in your head, and they're never there when you need them.
Well, I love that he has a dog, and they share a can of dog food together.
Yeah, boy, they're eating that dog food.
The dog was like, "Are you seriously eating without me right now?"
Right, that poor dog's like, "How much of that are you eating? That's my food."
Right.
I'm judging you really hard right now. That's kind of gross for a person. I'm a dog, but you're a.
His dog got shot, didn't he?
Yes, with an arrow.
Yeah.
Aww.
I'm ready to write off the whole film just based on that. Like.
Yeah.
And he didn't even go like all John Wick. He just went like, he's like, yeah, my dog's dead. There's no point anymore.
But let's see. Can't remember what I was going to bring up. Yeah, this is a totally different. You watch this. Okay. All three movies are related. You watch all four movies, but they're so different.
Mm-hmm.
They're so different. Like you watch this, and then you go to Thunderdome, and it's like, I don't know, it's so weird, but they fit. They strangely fit, but the movies are just so totally different.
I think the only one that comes close to being similar is this one and Fury Road, since they're both ultimately chase movies. It's just Fury Road's like, oh, you liked all the stunts and car chases in the Road Warrior? Well, hold my beer. I'm gonna show you.
I'm watching that. Write that down. I'm gonna watch that tonight. Doggone it. That was just such a great movie.
Yeah, which this was my favorite of the franchise up until that one came out.
Yeah.
And
as soon as I saw the trailer for that, I remember watching the trailer over and over again, being like, this is going to be the most ultimate, like, guy movie. You know, I'm going to go in and I'm going to come out looking like Arnold, just like all bolt up. You know? Like,
just watching the movie will make you more masculine.
Flip the car over, like, oh, and people are like, oh my God, he's on PCP. Call the cops, you know? Oh man, I am Zeus.
What a Christmas movie this must have been. Coming out on December 24th. I can't imagine.
What's coming out?
Mad Max 2 came out December 24th, 1981.
This is a Christmas movie? Wow.
Well,
you know, in Australia, Christmas. They're like, yeah, that looks like Christmas. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Maybe that's why it didn't get an 82 release in the US. They're like, that's not a Christmas movie. Where's the snow?
Yeah. Oh, we all know that Australia is on the doorstep of hell. There's no getting around it. They don't have their Christmas.
They get their winter season during our summer. So when it's Christmas time, it's just
they banned that holiday.
A hellscape.
Like, we can't even look at.
People have died of heat stroke trying to wear those ugly Christmas sweaters. We got to move Christmas to July or something.
Which actually is not to get biblical or anything, but if I remember,
would be a better date for Christmas, do you think?
Well, no, if I remember correctly, Jesus was actually born
in the springtime.
Yes, because if you trace records and stuff back, and when everybody went in to pay their taxes and all that, it was springtime. The Pope or whomever deemed it necessary, like Halloween and Easter and a lot of other holidays, was like, now I don't know, man, there's some pagan stuff going on. We need a holiday to
their holidays look way cooler than ours. We're just gonna steal that idea.
So anyway,
they incorporated the birth of Jesus with Christmas to try and sway the pagans to come to Christianity. I mean, that's where the Christmas tree comes from.
Right.
It's where Easter eggs come from.
Yeah.
But speaking of Halloween, I think it's kind of funny how different cultures view death. So like in Mexico and Latin culture, Day of the Dead, right? That's a celebration, remembrance of the dead. You bring them their favorite treats or something that remembers them by. Whereas Celtic, where Halloween comes from, they're like, I'm going to light this pumpkin. You go stay away from my door. Don't you come in my house. Go.
Get out of here.
Shoot.
Stay gone.
Is it Halloween yet?
Oh my God. Could it just be September, please?
We got, 3 months?
Skip right to September 1st.
3 months to trudge through.
Liam is already counting down to when Spirit Halloween opens, like a brick and mortar store.
Oh, man.
Well, they might open in late August, early September.
Yeah, he's got a little paper calendar I made him. He's like, we can do this. We got to go to bed early so we can sleep half this time away.
They had one in Knack last year, like in the shopping center where the movie theater is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. We just, with everything lagging and public and all that, we still this year, I think.
We'll go
with vaccinations and masks and everything, we'll probably get back into trick or treating with the kids.
Well,
I think
I don't want to tell anyone how to live their life, but we're basically at the point where you have a couple of factions. You have people who obviously don't care or don't think it exists and think scientists are part of the media lying to us.
Right.
Or you have people who think they're basically Superman now because they're vaccinated and they don't care. They're like, I'm vaccinated, it's fine. So
we're vaxxed, but we still wear masks.
We're not trying to spread it around and give it a chance to mutate into something that will kill us. Better
and that's
and faster.
what we were thinking about trick-or-treating is we're outside, but we're still going to wear a mask. But I think,
last Halloween was a rough one.
The last couple, we've set them out. We did our thing. We made it up. We
mutilated some pumpkins. We watched some scary movies. We got sick on sugar.
I don't want to go wild, but I think we can safely ease back into trick-or-treating as long as we do the outdoors thing. I'm okay with that. But
this is my philosophy moving forward until some other major pandemic happens.
Right. If we're not
Yeah.
You just have to live your life, make the choices of when you want to go out in public.
Right.
But wear a mask. But I mean, like, if you continue, like, you're gonna stay a shut-in the rest of your life.
Right.
Because people aren't getting better. They're not doing what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
So
you just gotta be choosy.
And haven't been in this state since probably April of 2020. So
April or May, like soon as everything opened up, they're like, "Oh, it's magically over. We stayed home for 8 weeks. We're good." And it's like,
it was May. I remember a very specific press conference with a certain person who was like, "You don't have to wear masks." That was it. Everything was magically fixed.
I will circle it back to what we're talking about today. We talk Star Trek a lot because you're a pretty big Trekkie, Chris, and we were talking a little bit about it yesterday. I would like to think we are heading into a future that's like the Star Trek world, but I'm afraid our society is going into this movie.
Oh, it's going to.
But that's the thing about Star Trek, though. We did have a Mad Max period before we got.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm afraid I'm not going to live to see the Star Trek period.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. That is one thing about Trek. They made it like there was a World War III. Like Earth, they had to fall. Humanity had to fall completely. Stumble. I don't want to say fall. They had to stumble a lot before they were able.
We shouldn't have to do that before we get our shit together.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't have to. But that is one thing about Trek. They weren't BSing. They were like, it's going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. We're just too. Look, we can be hopeful, but even in Star Trek, things went to shit before people realized that we have to be better than this and rise above it. And they eventually did, and that's where you get the hope from. When you watch Star Trek, you're like, man, like I don't want to go through that, but we're in that now. We're heading into that. So
yeah, it's scary. And with gas prices being the price they are, I feel like every time I go to the pump, like there's going to be some dude in leather and chains trying to get my gasoline.
I made a meme the other day. Got a phone that's got a stylus, people. I'm sorry. I discovered.
Oh, he's so cute too.
I discovered the stylus.
You just need some readers on the end of your
nose. Putting my head on everything. I know you might get tired of it, but I think it's hilarious. I laugh. I giggle to myself, and I'm like, man, what can I put my head on next?
Well, I liked how you incorporated yourself in the meme I shared with Adam West in the back of Hunter S. Thompson's convertible.
I'm sorry. I meant to comment and say I'm stealing this. And I was like, oh my god, I stole it, and I was like,
you must give a notice of acquisition before you steal.
Well, it wasn't my meme. I just shared it because I thought it was funny. Because I love where they throw Adam West in, like in Jaws, and.
I'm about to get back. I need some heads, people. I need some facial expressions because I'm about to get back into putting our heads on things for the movies that are coming up. Because my phone crapped out and I just wasn't able to do it for the longest time. But now I'm getting back into it. So I need some of those facial expressions, Cody. I need some like surprise faces, some
just do like the little emotions chart that they have in the kids' doctor's office. Just do a face for each one.
I said I need something other than a smile and a confused face.
Yeah, I need you to stop using that face, please, because you use that more than anything.
I told you I need some more stuff to work with. I'm an artist. I need stuff.
No. You tell me I need more faces, but then you've already made and posted a new meme with the same old face. So
anyway.
I'm disappointed that. Well, I guess if the kid didn't have a name, the dog wouldn't have a name, but he doesn't have a name.
Feral kid.
Yeah.
Feral kid and Australian cattle dog. That's who they are.
Feral kid and dog. You gotta just give it to this being simple.
You could call
Apparently the kid learns to speak later because he's the narrator of the story.
Yeah.
For the next film?
No. Because he just that's
a one-off character because we're in a whole different journey in the third film. Like that character doesn't come back.
Yeah, but that tells you that they made it though, and I kind of like that. Like there's
a little hope in this wasteland.
Yeah, they made it to wherever they were going, and that kid lived long enough to actually
learn how to speak,
and become a leader and an old man, and that's the hope. Everything's so grim. Everybody dies in this movie.
Yeah, the Mick Jagger lookalike guy dies.
Yeah, like everybody dies in this movie. But it's nice to see the gyro captain and the feral kid make it.
So it's not. So kind of talking about the other movies. The gyro captain guy actually comes back in Beyond Thunderdome. I don't know if he's the same guy or just a different person.
I was going to ask you if you thought he was the same guy, but when they act like they didn't know each other, right? Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since I've seen Thunderdome, and now I want to watch it too. But I'm trying to remember because it seemed like they didn't know each other, and it was a different character, but he's dressed the same, right?
Yeah, and he's flying and he's got a kid, which he hooks up with that one lady.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like maybe that's his kid. Maybe for some reason they have to come back. They come back this direction. Like maybe it gets worse or something. I don't know. Who knows? That's what I was talking about. They're all three seem like standalone movies. All four.
Well, all four of them. Yeah, they don't really.
I'm sorry. I keep saying three because I in my mind, Mel Gibson.
You're just thinking of the three Mel Gibson films.
Yeah. But all four see they're connected, but they're standalone movies.
Yeah, the only thing they're connected by is the character of Max and the setting. Yeah. It's a lot like the Man with No Name films. Like there's really no connection to those movies other than Clint Eastwood.
They're just they could be. You could watch any one of them in any different order, and it would be fun. Like there's no chronological order to them, except I take that back. You'd start with the first one, but you could watch the last three in any order, and it would be perfectly fun. Like
I think watching the first one, it kind of just gives you a little more context of Max's character because, like, there's no character like arc really after that. He's just an archetype after that. So you kind of see like, and there's a little bit of society still in the first movie. Like it's not completely a wasteland, but it's on the verge.
Right.
So
yeah.
But that movie feels more like a grimy exploitation film, where this one just feels like a pure action movie to me.
Which one? Grimy exploitation film?
The first one.
The first one? Yeah. Yeah, it did seem like one of those B movie, almost straight to video.
Mm-hmm.
Even for back then.
But I mean, the stunt work in this, the chase sequences, I mean, it's incredible. Like,
right.
especially for 1981, 1982. Like,
I heard that Mel Gibson was either in acting school or like right out of acting school when he got the
well,
first.
actually,
The
he
first
wasn't
movie.
even going there to audition for the first film. Like, he just drove a buddy to audition, and like they saw him and they were like, "We want you to read. We like your like presence or energy." And look, taking Mel Gibson's personal life and his beliefs or whatever his issues are, mental health, I do honestly think the man is mentally ill.
Yeah,
He is a compelling screen presence. He always has been, even though he's a
I like him.
problematic individual.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe we should have known he's mentally ill by based off the type of characters he's playing.
Well, it's like Tom Cruise. In these instances, just separate the actor from the person. Like I know they're shitty, but they do have some good movies. I know that sounds bad. You're like
You can be a bad person and be good at things.
yeah,
you can be a horrible person and be good at your job.
Screw that man, but I don't like any of his bullshit. I'm sorry. He's a straight up predator, but
yeah.
we won't get into that.
I'll give Mel Gibson credit. He has a great voice for narration.
Yeah.
He would be a great voice actor.
I liked him as Riggs. I liked him in
Indefinitely.
everything that he's pretty much done. Like I've enjoyed him in. Like he's like Tom Cruise. Even his like not so good stuff, he's still, like you said, a presence. And I don't know.
And he's a little
I like his
baby
movies.
Mel Gibson in these
Yeah,
movies. So
just-
we don't know what a horrible monster he will grow up to be.
Yeah. And I really think that it's like a lot of other people in Hollywood, these older guys that you see, they become so disconnected and disassociated with reality because they're just everything's handed to them on a platter and
they lose touch.
And they don't get that mental help because everyone around them is saying, no, you're okay. You're fine. It's not you, it's them. So I don't know. Like I'm not making excuses for him or his behavior at all. But I'm just saying there are factors there where they don't get that help that they need. And and I like to think that baby Mel Gibson from the first movie, I like to think that he wasn't that monster that he, and I say monster, but he didn't have the issues or the problems that he had back then that he does today. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I wasn't around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you don't know. Like he worked.
But I do find it kind of funny looking back at most of the characters he's played, and they are a lot of ways of variation of this character, right? Like something tragic happens to him, he goes on a murderous rampage of killing bad people.
Right. And that's a lot of Keanu Reeves. That man's a national treasure and a sweetheart, but he makes movies like that. John Wick, and I'll watch every John Wick movie that man puts out, or Bill and Ted. I don't care what it is. We have to protect Keanu at all costs. But
well, I have heard he's nothing but like the nicest person.
I know that man. Like I said, he is a national treasure. Like, if anybody needs to go up on Mount Rushmore. Actually, I take that back. We need to give Mount Rushmore back to the Native Americans, first of all. That's my opinion. But if they wanted to replace anyone up there, put Keanu
Thomas Jefferson's my first vote.
Yeah. Replace him with Keanu Reeves' face. I'd go for that.
Of the 4 presidents that are up there, I'd say first one to go, Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure.
I know you wrote the Declaration of Independence, sir, but you're a bit problematic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They all are, and nobody wants to.
That's true. Even Abraham Lincoln is not like as saintly as everyone portrays him as. But yeah. As Lindsay
podcast, folks.
Yep, as Lindsay said, terrible people can do good things.
Oh, real quick, this is totally off subject. This just popped in my brain because I don't know, who knows? Undiagnosed ADHD. I have no clue, but I wanted to thank. Please help me pronounce her name. I'm embarrassed. Our last host that I had to bail on.
Oh, Manette.
Manette, thank you so much. Wow, what a guest host! Because I got so much.
Right. Yeah.
I know we're deviating from from our topic, but I want, before I forget, and I don't know if she's going to hear this, but wow, I got so much from that. Thank you so much. That was just an excellent, not only lesson, but the comparison and everything, the parallels. You nailed it. Thank you so much. That was so much. That was so informative. Not discrediting any of our past guests, but wow, like that was awesome. That was the most informative podcast of ours that I think I've ever sat in on and got to listen to. So anyway, if you want to pass that along, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she was a little worried that she was like just kind of in control and like just talking too much. I was like, no, it was great. I really love that you brought it. You brought more than I thought we would talk about the Odyssey.
You broke it down more than I thought I would ever like realize. Like you made me see parallels in that movie that I hadn't seen before. And I told you, Cody, that I went back, that watching that movie made me go back and study that, but not that in depth. Like, it was really cool. But anyway, we'll move on. I'm sorry. That popped into my head. I was like, I've got to say that real quick because I may not, remember to say it right before we end the podcast. Anyway, back to Mad Max. Let's see.
I mean, it's really a simple plot, right? Max is in the middle of the wasteland. He stumbles upon, he stumbles upon the bad guys trying to get the same gasoline he's getting, right? And then he finds the gyrocopter guy, kind of takes him as prisoner first. He's scoping out their lair and then notices that like they're terrorizing this community of people.
Right.
Who are just trying to survive. And they're like trying to take the Marauders, Lord Humongous and his hockey mask and his gang of punk metal Judas Priest roadies are trying to steal their gasoline. Their gasoline, right? Yeah.
It sounds like I know they're Australian, but every time I hear them say gasoline, it sounds like they're saying guzzling.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're the only society that actually calls it gas. I think it's called petrol or petroleum.
Yeah.
Because gas is not liquid.
Right.
Why do we call it gasoline?
Petrol is it. That's what it is, and petroleum. Yeah, I always thought that was weird.
We just have to...
it seems like a dumbing down, kind of like our measurements and the way we measure things over here. It's like they dumbed things down for Americans.
And then they wonder why Americans are dumb.
Yeah. Nothing against anyone. We love you guys, but
we love everyone. But
sometimes we gotta say it like it is.
But if you look at other countries that are of our society, that are in our type of governments and democracies, they mostly outscore us in almost everything.
Right. I'm going to throw Japan in there as a reference to this. If you look at how sanitary and the gadgets and the procedures they have, not only in their classrooms, but their homes. they're so efficient. And Lindsay and I will watch videos. What do the kids call them these days? TikToks. I'm kidding, guys. She'll show me TikToks.
Oh, I think you just aged yourself a couple of more decades there, Chris.
You can't
What are
see
the
all
kids calling these things today on the social medias?
You can't see all the gray in my head, guys. Come on. No, I don't. But she'll show me. She was like, why don't we do this over here? Just simple things like the way their dishes are set up, or the drain board is set up in their kitchen, even to catch water. Seems like things are so much more efficient and progressive over there. And as far as living and lifestyles and sanitation, it's hard to believe. It's like, okay, in Black Panther, when they fly into Wakanda and there's such an advanced society to the rest of the world, that's what it feels like. Now, I know they have their slums, they have their downsides, they have their homeless, they have their issues, but for the most part, you take somewhere like you take a major city in Japan, or China even, and you compare it to a major city over here like Chicago or New York, Houston, Dallas, you will see the differences in that. Like it's like Blade Runner differences almost. No joke. I'm not kidding. Like, you look at the efficiency between our societies, and we are way behind, like way off. But anyway, I'm sorry. We keep deviating from
For the Road Warrior. It's just good podcasts. Good podcasts is where it happens. But I think it's because there's not a lot to like dissect in this movie. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic. Yeah. It's just a badass movie. So,
and I'll tell you, the whole buildup is worth it for the last 30 minutes of this movie.
Oh, when we get to the chase of them trying to get away from them, and
it is straight up just Fury Road. It's straight up just.
It's a test run, right? Because the last 30 minutes is basically the entirety of Fury Road.
Yes, it's like people. They were like, you know what they want? They don't want to see people being bombarded, with a fort. They want to, let's take this on the road. And my God, those shots and what they did with those vehicles and the crashes and the aerial shots, and wow, you can tell that there were a lot of violations on that movie set.
Well, I don't know how and it's been an issue with most of these, but I know in the original, because of how low the budget was, George Miller was having to actually help patch up the stunt team, which he's a doctor. That was his profession before he became a filmmaker. He's a doctor.
I heard that. That is insane. Cool, but wow,
But yeah, so what?
No, go ahead.
I was like, so yeah, they decide that instead of succumbing to these bullies, they're going to flee and take their gasoline supply and go somewhere else. They're not gonna cave into these guys. And Max, reluctantly, because he doesn't want to really help, he's like, I just need gas, I'm leaving. Decides to help, and because I guess deep down he's a good person,
right?
Even though he wants to be a loner and stay out of it,
right? After his wife and child died, and he's he's in that I won't say mood, but that I don't know, that tragic.
He's given up on humanity. He's given up.
Yeah. He's like, it's not about anybody else. It's about me. I'm surviving. I'm doing what I can until the day comes where I can't do it anymore, and they finally get me. And these people that are in trouble tap back into, I guess, his humanity, and maybe even the feral kid and the gyro captain who he doesn't trust at first, but he keeps showing up. Like, he keeps showing them that, and that that is a point. The gyro captain and the kid and the feral kid, I think, are what they tap into his humanity. I think they are what kind of wear him down enough to see, like, man, maybe these people are worth helping. Like, maybe they need to go to safety, and it's not all about me. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that's where they were going, but
I mean, he chooses to try to save that one guy. I mean, granted, it's because he wants gasoline and he says his town has gasoline, but he could have left that guy to die.
right.
Like, he didn't have to.
Yeah. There's still a spark of humanity in him, and I like that they show that. He's not completely just shut off from the world, and it's kind of like now in Fury Road. I think he's become more cynical because
he's suffering from PTSD, I think, in Fury Road, because you see glimpses of, like, his past or people he tried to save and it didn't work out or something.
Well, they showed the feral kid, so, but I mean, we know that he makes it.
Yeah.
But maybe that was just like a throwback. Like, hey, this is kind of our little loose connection.
But also, just spending all that time in the desert in a world like this will do that to you.
Right. Being alone. So. Yeah,
But I think this is one of the best action films ever made, and if Fury Road didn't exist, this would be the best in the franchise. But
right. I think it's Fury Road, and okay, this is my assessment. I love the first movie. I love that it sets everything up, but this is my order that I prefer. Fury Road is going to come out on top because it is the most metal of the films. Then it's going to be Road Warrior. Then it's going to be Thunderdome, and then it'll have to be the original Mad Max. And I know that may be controversial to some, but to me it comes in order of action, just being action packed and just awesome. I'm not saying the first movie is not awesome. It's great. It's a cult classic. I love it. But when it comes down to it, on any day of the year, I'll be like, well, I'm going to throw on Fury Road or Road Warrior because I get to see, I
think most people would agree those are the top two. I think where a lot of people would differ with you is a lot of people would put Mad Max in the third slot and Thunderdome in the fourth. And I like all four of these movies, but I think the issue a lot of people have with Thunderdome is, I guess, it's a little more kid friendly, and it's, a little less of an action movie and more like an adventure story. But like we said, it's just Max getting thrown into different situations. They're almost like all different movies. Almost.
Right. It was kind of like they were taking it easy on Max in that movie, a little easier than. Like, he needs a break, but he still needs to suffer a little bit.
I mean, he still deals with, he loses things. He has to fight, and then, double crosses and more double crosses. And then he ends up helping these kids. Yeah, I don't know. They're all good movies. And apparently this franchise is not over with, even though George Miller is now 77 years old. He is prepping a Furiosa prequel.
That's going to be interesting. And Chris Hemsworth is in that one. So
Chris Hemsworth, Anna Taylor-Joy is playing Furiosa, and we've got Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who played the young Morpheus and was Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen series, and he's in the new Michael Bay movie. He's in the new Candyman movie. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Now there's supposedly going to be a 5th Mad Max movie called Wasteland. I don't know if that'll end up happening. I don't know if Tom Hardy's going to come back and play Max or it's going to be another recast.
Right. That's going to be awesome. Like, I'm ready to see more of this world. Like, it's depressing in a way, but it's just, again, it's like opening the pages of Heavy Metal magazine for the first time. Like,
this very much feels like a Heavy Metal, like that artwork, like come to life, right? It very much like with the costume designs and the look of the characters, like
it's just balls to the wall, like Iron Maiden and like Metallica and Megadeth and Wasp and Slayer, like all meshed into a ball. Just like break out your leather jackets and your battle vests, guys, because
crank it up to 11.
And Ronnie James Dio is singing like whatever is happening. It's just it's rad. It's radical. I will throw it out there, man. It's epic.
I'm just glad that he's already making Furiosa before his new movie comes out. That I guess he got on the good graces of Fury Road, surprisingly being a huge commercial success.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen the trailer for his new movie. It looks bananas. I don't know how well it's going to be received. Right?
Yeah.
Idris Elba is a genie. Yes.
I'm ready for that movie.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a very divisive film, though.
Yeah, me too. But that movie looks wild. I am ready for that movie.
Like, even if it gets like high critical praise, I feel like it's going to be a movie people are going to be like, "What is this?"
Yeah, like I can see that. I can almost like it reminded me of a Terry Gilliam movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm in. I'm all for this. Like, I want to know more. I want to know what it is. Like, wow. Like, it looks good.
I mean, it's got 2 of the best actors working today. And yeah, George Miller, take that Fury Road money and do what you can while you can do it.
Right? Yeah, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for any Mad Max that he throws out. So
yeah, so I think this is a great addition and helps consider while 82 is one of the best years of cinema and another movie star making film in this year.
Right. Yeah, I love it. I love to revisit it. It's awesome. It's a great popcorn, just edge of your seat. I don't want to say edge of your seat. No, it is edge of your seat. If you've never seen it, it's edge of your seat.
It's edge of your seat, especially the last 30 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, it's worth it, guys. If you have not seen it, if you've been on the fence about it, and you're like, I don't know, man, it's an old movie, whatever. Stop it. Shush. Go rent it or find it somewhere. Buy it. It's worth it. I promise you. Add it to your collection. You'll love it. I hope you will. As much as I do. But anyway. All right, Cody. Well, let's see. What do we got coming up? Next week?
So next week, for our Coen Brothers series, we're going to be talking about probably their most noir film, maybe their most existential film. You could argue A Serious Man might be more existential, but we're going to be talking The Man Who Wasn't There.
I have not seen that.
Yeah. So it's not a very popular film of theirs. It's a little more of an underrated deep dive of theirs.
Okay, well, excellent. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm up for a new movie, so I'm excited about it.
We're going to take a break for 1982 for next week. For Father's Day weekend, we're going to be celebrating Pride Month. and we're going to talk about maybe the most. I don't know if they're the most prolific, but they're certainly the most ambitious and get the biggest blank checks of the community of directors who worked. We're talking the Wachowskis. I've been wanting to do Speed Racer forever. We did all the Matrix movies. We're just going to secretly do a Wachowski series, but we're going to do a Wachowski double feature. We're going to do their first film, Bound, and then we're going to do their adaptation of Speed Racer, which is a good movie. I don't care what anyone says.
That's going to be great. And I can't wait to watch Speed Racer and Bound because we haven't seen that. So I've seen Speed Racer once, but it was on a computer. I was watching it on headphones. I'm ready to go back and watch it on my TV and some good
surround
sound. Yeah, surround sound, and like we can get into it. So,
and then we will come back to 1982. We're continuing with testosterone right now for 1982 because apparently that was popular. We're going to be talking Rocky 3.
Yes, I'm ready. You know what? I like the Rocky series. The first one is the best. I like them in order. yeah, really. That's what.
Have you seen the Creed movies? Those are good.
You know what? I haven't, and I have them, but I just have not watched them yet. And
I would recommend watching it, especially the first one. But the second one kind of makes Rocky 4 a little bit better of a movie. Now, I'm not here to throw shade at Rocky 4, but
no. I've seen the clip where Drago comes in. It's Drago's son. Like, I get the gist of it, and that I really want to watch these. Like,
Dolph Lundgren actually gives like a good performance.
Nice. I heard it was excellent, and they both are. And it's just on that long list of movies I have yet to watch. So.
But I think the best sequel, not counting Creed, is probably Rocky Balboa. But Rocky 3 is my favorite of the cheesy Rocky sequels of that 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, Rocky 3 is great. In that cheesy sense, like you said. So I'm ready. Wait, I may start early enough and actually watch the first and the second movies. Just because they're I like the Rocky movies. So, but cool. All right. Well, excellent. We had a great time. We deviated some, but I think we got the gist in on Road Warrior. It's just a metal movie.
82 was a big year for testosterone.
Yeah.
So far, we are going to get to movies like E.T. and Secret of the Nim.
Which happy anniversary to E.T.
Sad.
For some reason, I looked it up and it said yesterday, but everybody's saying it's today. So maybe yesterday was the Hollywood opening. But either way, happy 40th anniversary, E.T., because that is one of my all-time favorite movies. I bawl like a baby at the end of that movie. It is. Anyway, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to one of the greatest films ever made.
I can't wait to get to that movie. I've purposely put off watching it because I knew we were going to get to it. And it's been probably over a year since we've sat down and watched it all the way.
Last summer.
Was it last summer?
I think we rewatch it pretty much.
Yeah, we watch it regularly once a year at least. So
before we go, I also want to clarify if anyone is like looking at the summer of 82 and seeing movies we're not covering. The reason we are not covering Blade Runner is there's a 3-hour episode about Blade Runner. So I didn't feel like we needed to revisit it again, even though I understand it's a big movie for 82, even though not at the time because people didn't go see it.
Right. We had to pick and choose. It was hard, but I think the list that you put together, Cody, it covers it really well. It's diverse. It fit. We get a lot of movies in there.
It's comprehensive.
It's comprehensive. And
well, Jessica's upset we're not covering Annie, and I was like,
yeah. Which I tell you what, let's make a deal. If she wants to come on and guest host for Annie, I don't mind doubling up one day for a movie and doing a twofer. So we can double up and do a double feature, but she has to come on, and Lindsay too. They both have to come on.
Challenging her, huh?
Yeah.
Challenging you.
Calling you out, Jessica.
So I'm calling you out, Jessica. If you want to come on, and if you want to do Annie, if you're upset that we're not going to do Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow if you come on and guest host. So you relay that message, and I will sit through Annie.
How dare you just sit through
for her to come on and guest host.
Yeah, I think I will too. Even though I don't know if I've actually watched it from beginning to end. I think I've only seen bits and pieces of it together. It's just not my.
There's great performances. I can see why people like it. I'm more of a Blues Brothers musical fan myself. There's that. I haven't seen it in years, probably since I was probably 13 years old.
I actually heard the Disney remake that Rob Marshall did for TV is actually a better version of the story.
And that's what I've heard. But if we're doing A2, we'll have to need to. But you tell her if she wants to, if she's upset that much, if she wants to watch it, we'll double up and do a double feature.
I'll relay the message.
I will sit through Annie.
Also, I hate to get on a soapbox, but I don't think anyone on our page has been doing it lately, but I just keep seeing it in social media. Stop. If you don't want to watch something because you are offended that non-white male people are in your fantasy franchise, then don't watch it.
Yeah. Like, fuck out of here with your BS. Excuse my language.
Especially when they're new characters too that did not exist in the franchise before now. Like, it's ridiculous.
Everybody's getting upset about Moses.
Is it Ingram? Is that her name?
Moses Ingram killing the Inquisitor in her role in Star Wars. Let me call a ambulance for you. Cut that bullshit out, man. I'm so sick of that. But you want to bring that into our fandom and poison it? Go fuck yourself. Excuse my language.
Were you about to censor yourself?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to censor myself, but I'm
also
sick of people like that.
Studios, actors, I applaud Ewan McGregor for defending her, but they should not have to defend their choices of the actors they pick for their properties.
They shouldn't. And I not only the gentleman who played Gowron, the Klingon Gowron.
I loved his response.
Yeah, Kapla to him, and Captain Pike, Anson Mount. Good for him, saying that the Trek community has her back. But Ewan McGregor and everyone else. But you're right. They shouldn't have to do that. Fanboys, fan punks, not even fans. I'm sorry, just straight up punks. That's all I'm going to call you, because that's what you've reduced yourself to, making everybody look bad with your bitchy, whiny, boo-hoo, they don't resemble thy image BS. Can take it elsewhere. I'm sick of it, man. You have caused everyone from Jake Lloyd, and Ahmad Best,
Kelly Marie
Tran, all those people, because your whiny bitch ass self can't take it. You know what? Go screw yourself. And I don't care.
I'm gonna say the first episode of Miss Marvel is a fantastic show, and I love seeing how much joy and just enthusiasm it's getting from people who aren't normally represented in these properties. And if you can't watch a show because it has a female lead or a non-white or a non-Christian lead, then don't watch it. And I don't want to hear your opinion because you're not the only people that exist in this world, and you're not the only people who like superheroes and comic books.
Right. The same people were complaining about Samuel L. Jackson stepping into Nick Fury's role.
Well, that's
2 years
the
ago.
ultimate version of Nick Fury, right? That's where they went with.
That is the Ultimates version. That's where they modeled the comic book version of Nick Fury from the Ultimates after Samuel L. Jackson. This was way before they even cast him. This was like a nod to Samuel L. Jackson. And then he agreed to play it, which was even more meta and awesome and just kick-ass. But I remember hearing the complaints about that. And it's just, man, you make yourself look pathetic. And it's disgusting. And it's just, if you can't have fun with something, it's like Star Trek haters. I'm so sick of people hating on Star Trek. Like, I get there are issues that people have. You can have an issue with the writing on something or the dialogue or where they're taking a character. I get that. But if you want to turn that into a racist, an excuse to be a racist or misogynist or sexist or whatever you want to be, see yourself to the nearest airlock. Seriously. I will push that button for you because that is bullshit.
No, we don't tolerate it, and we don't have a space for it. So don't do it on our page.
Well, guys, if you're wondering,
it's possible to not like something and just be totally silent about it.
Yeah,
just
If you're wondering why we approve messages, that's why. Because we don't want anything hateful or disgusting getting through on our page. I'm sorry. And sometimes it does. It'll happen either way in a comment, but we try to stay on top of it because here at Video Store Rejects, everybody's welcome. And if you don't feel the same way, you know where that unfriend button is and that unlike, and you know where you can stick that unlike. So, but we do love you. We love everybody. On a totally different note, we love all of our regulars. So there's that.
Yes, and if you want to watch along with us for the summer of '82, or you want to watch something we're not covering, go ahead and stay cool, especially if you're wherever it's hot, because it might be 100 degrees here in Texas today.
Oh yeah, it's an inside day, and it's an inside movie day for us. So for sure. Yeah, I stepped outside this morning and I started sweating down. I was like, nope, back.
Yeah,
Shut that.
already warm.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching. We'll be back next week for Pride Month and more Coen Brothers.
All right, guys. Thanks.